So let's start by introducing yourself. What's your name and where are you from?
All right. My name is Ashley Warvath, and I'm from Washington, PA.
My name is Hannah Biddle, and I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I am Darianne Meacham. I am originally from the Meadville area.
My name is Eliana Shea, and I'm from York, Pennsylvania.
My name's Erin Vanetta. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA.
My entire family was in like some sort of like helping job position. Like my dad's a police officer, and like a lot of like my extended family are like CRNAs or like nurses and firefighters. So I think it was just like kind of in like my blood.
From the beginning, my sister and I, we were born prematurely, so we were at children's NICU. And that was, like, I feel like growing up, I just heard the stories of the NICU nurses, and like my parents were like, we wouldn't have both of you today if it weren't for them, especially like my sister. And I have my sister because of those nurses.
I was in a really bad ATV accident when I was 8 years old. I was life flighted to Pittsburgh Children's Hospital and everything. And what really stuck with me was just the care that I received, not only from the nurses, but also from the doctors.
I knew I wanted to be a nurse when I was in and out of the hospital when I was little, and although the doctors were amazing, the nurses were truly what kept me and my family going.
On top of doing nursing, I was also an athlete. I played soccer. So a lot of those days were like really jam-packed for me. Like I would wake up at like 4:30 in the morning, drive down to Pittsburgh and like do an 8-hour shift at Children's Hospital, and then drive right back and go straight to like soccer practice.
The hardest day for me was hearing that our group that was like at 12 the semester before, we were starting with 6 the next semester. And it's hard because you have friends and you want to see them succeed, and then sometimes when that doesn't happen, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow, and it's that reality that could be me too.
Not necessarily a worst day, but just the worst times is kind of losing that light at the end of the tunnel where you see all these other really smart people that you might compare yourself to that might be not making it.
He had to go down for an MRI for some reason, and he just complained about everything. He was like, get me a creamer, get me a sugar, get me a cup of coffee, move my table, move my arm, move my pillow. Like it was always just one thing after another. And we were taking him down for the MRI, and he just screamed at me that I was gonna kill him. And I was like, sir, I'm pushing you in a wheelchair. There's nothing I'm doing right now. But I don't know why he was just so mean to me for the rest of the day that I remember sobbing in the break room.
The worst was just the waiting for when the test results came out. And I think the worst day for that was our final semester. And we were just waiting to see if we actually passed and if we were about to graduate nursing school.
So what was your best day?
My best day? Oh.
Like actually.
I actually don't know if I had a best day. I don't remember that stuff. I only remember the bad stuff.
I think finding out about my Daisy Award at nursing school was probably one of the best days for me. Because I wasn't really like expecting it, and the case, the like patient I got it for was something that in my mind was just so like very small and minute in my head, like, oh yeah, well like that's what I meant to do, like I'm a nurse, like that's just my job to like keep people safe.
When we passed our final, our little group of 5, and we knew that we all passed, I feel like that was best. I was not only happy for myself, but for all of us because we worked so hard. And I mean, we are trauma bonded, like we're trauma bonded for life, and I wanted to see them succeed just as much as I wanted to see myself.
That weight was lifted off of our shoulders. Granted, we still had boards down the road, but like no more Jameson exams. We were done, we were at the end.
I cried. I immediately started crying. As soon as I found out that everybody had passed, I called my family, I told them that I had passed and I was done, and I started sobbing because the 5 of us had finally finished.
The funniest days were when like all of us would like be at lunch with like one of our nursing clinical instructors and just like cracking jokes about like each other, like talking like on that downtime.
Us before a test was probably comical to watch. We'd be laughing, and then we'd like be on the verge of tears, and then we'd be like, do we even know what we're studying right now?
We would get to a point before a test where we would just put all of our material away. We would pray, and then I think the funniest thing that we would do is we actually had printouts of all of the just all of the first nurses that created nursing throughout history. We had printouts of all of their faces, and we would create a circle around us with them, or we would put them in the middle and we would just pray to like the gods of nursing, we would call it essentially.
I just felt like if you looked at us before a test, it was just a roller coaster of emotions, and we were like, we'll do fine. What if we don't? No, we got this. No, we don't.
It was at PASS when we were walking out of the hospital, and Erin was talking about something, and Mrs. Erickson like made just the funniest comment in the world, and it took all of us by such surprise that it was actually the funniest thing ever, because it was like so out of pocket.
I think I would just like tell myself to like keep doing what I was doing back then. Like I was very like on top of my work, and I was just always like myself. Like I would like to think I'm like a bubbly person, and I just want to help people. That was like from day one, like if I could just help one person, like that was the only thing on my mind when I was young. So like I would just like keep going with that narrative and like learn as much as I can and take everything in and say yes to every opportunity that comes your way.
Pay more attention in biology.
Don't be afraid to be sensitive. I've always been the person, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and growing up, like there were definitely people who were like, you're too sensitive to be a nurse, like you have to be strong. But there's strength in also showing your emotions, because by showing them, we're showing our patients that we're understanding them from a different level. So I think I would tell little Hannah, don't be afraid to show those emotions, because it's kind of your superpower.
Just do what makes you happy. Always just believe in yourself as well. Not everybody's path is straight, so just know that whatever path you're on, you'll get to where you want to be.
Girl, what did we do? What did we do to ourselves? No, future Ellie already knows this, but present Ellie knows that I could never work a 9 to 5. I could never work a desk job. I could never do the same thing every day over and over again. So to be able to work in a career field where, yes, I'm seeing patients with similar diagnoses and conditions, everybody's always different and the treatment is always different. And I like that that always keeps me on my feet. So future Ellie, whatever you're doing, make sure that you're staying on your feet and that you're keeping yourself busy, because we know you go insane when you're not busy. And take care of yourself, please.
I would just say try to like remember that beginning nurse that you were, and like not knowing anything when you walked into a room, but like that you were still there to try to make people feel better at the end of the day. So like when you are like a nurse and you've been working for 5 years and you're like, oh, this is so exhausting, that like those patients are looking for you to take care of them, and they're having the worst day of your life. And while your day might be terrible with your job, you know, they're in the hospital, they're with their family, they're, you know, stressed, anxious and everything is like falling apart for them.
I always want to remind myself, and I want to remind my future self, that I chose this for a reason. I do believe that nurses, we receive that calling and we're meant to do what we're doing. So I just don't want to lose sight of why I started, and I started this just to help people. So if I can make someone's day a little better, it's okay if my day isn't great, but as long as I'm making theirs better, then I'm doing something right.
Remember the why behind why I became a nurse and switched to nursing. We're gonna have good days, we're gonna have really bad days, because we've already experienced some really bad days and some long periods of time where everything just seemed bad. Remember the Dominican Republic trip that I went on, and kind of how that opened my eyes to that we really do make a difference.
I've already come home crying a couple times, so grow a backbone and don't sacrifice your mental health for others. You know, you have to take care of yourself.
I think coming in my freshman year, I didn't really know like what I was gonna do with nursing. Like I knew that I thought I would kind of love it, but like for me, soccer was my whole world. And I was like, that's my passion. I don't know what I'm gonna do like without soccer when I graduate. And like the first day that we like stepped into a nursing classroom and started doing stuff, I was like, oh wow, I'm okay with like leaving soccer and like joining nursing and that being my full-time like lifelong goal and passion. And having like so much support from, Mrs. Darby and Dr. Sapienza and, the nursing professors at like the actual Jameson School of Nursing has just been like so amazing because they're always so supportive. Like I could reach out to them at like 12 o'clock at night and like they're gonna respond to me and they're gonna help me. So like I always just feel very like supported here. And I would tell anybody who's gone for nursing, and I have a couple friends that are coming here for nursing, that like this is a program like you want to be in. You're gonna learn a lot. They're gonna support you. Like, so I just like want to thank them a lot because they've just helped me so much.
First, I'd like to thank especially Professor Whitcomb for when we started freshman year. And we did anatomy and physiology with her for both. That foundation that we got definitely built our knowledge of what we needed to get through nursing school.
Dr. Whitcomb, that anatomy, we learned so much, and there's so much to the human body and every body system, but she made the learning process fun and essentially easy.
I don't know. I've just felt really supported over the last 4 years, and like all of the faculty here has been here for me through like any questions, like literally every single roadblock that I've bumped into. Like they've always been here to support me and answer my questions. So I really appreciate it.
That last semester of nursing school, or I guess the last year, was extremely difficult, and I would like to thank Ms. Darby for holding all of these classes that we had and just peppering us with questions so we could actually understand how to answer them, and on top of that, explaining the answers whenever we needed them. And truly, the entire nursing department is the backbone of our program, and I don't think any of us could have made it without you guys. And you guys have just been amazing. And no matter what, either we have snacks in here in the nursing department or we just come in and we cry. If you ask Ms. Whitcomb, yes, I've cried in her office before. So thank you all. We couldn't have made it without you.
Is there anything you'd like to say to your family? Are you going to have family there?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
there anything you'd like to say to them now
Oh,
in advance of the day?
I don't know. I might cry actually at that. Oh, God.
I want to thank you guys, like my family, my friends, because you guys have honestly been in it like with me the entire time. Like my dad, I think I would call him every day I would have a bad day and would just sob on the phone to him, and he would just like sit there and listen. Or my friends, they'd be like, hey, let's go out, let's go do something, let's get your mind off of it. And even my boyfriend like is like taking me places or being like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I can't relate at all. Like I crunch numbers, but like I'll be there for you. And like my mom and my dad have like been my rocks through this whole entire process.
My sister, my best friend, I would come in from clinical, and if she knew it was a bad day, if like I wasn't talking, or she could just read my face, like she wouldn't ask me, she would just let me be. I'd get a shower, I'd like put on comfy clothes, and I'd relax. And then when I had like kind of had a moment, she'd be like, is there anything you want to talk about? And she just like understood. Like she knew that it wasn't like I didn't want to talk to her. It was just sometimes I couldn't talk about it.
My journey has been different, but they've been there for me every step of the way, especially my father, my aunt and my uncle, and then my boyfriend as well. They have just been my backbone, essentially. Life at home hasn't been the easiest throughout this entire journey as well, but they have just been there for me. They've gotten me through every step of the way.
And just like my family, like my mom, like she would drive me sometimes like to clinical. She would get up in the morning. I would be getting up so early at like 6 a.m. for like Pittsburgh clinical. Even before that, we'd be at like 5 to get there at 6. And she would set her alarm because she wanted to make sure I was up and I was ready, and she wanted to tell me that I was going to have a good day. My dad, I'd go for walks with him up on campus, and I would just kind of talk about like what I was stressed about, and he'd be like, look at your track record, Hannah. He's like, you put in the work, it's going to pay off. He always told me that. So the three of them, it was just like never-ending support. And I know I probably wasn't always the most fun person to be around, but they still loved me and they still encouraged me, and I wouldn't be here without them.
Living 4 hours away from home is so hard, and like I feel like I never realized how much my family like was there for me when I had them there. And now being 4 hours away, I'm like, man, I wish I could just go into my mom's office and talk to her. I wish I could sit with my dad on the couch in the living room and talk with him, or go pester my brothers or something like that. But I did make a lot of sacrifices during nursing school. I ended up quitting my college sport that literally spent my whole entire life trying to get to, which was hard. I mean, that journey within itself was an emotional wreckage. It was bad. But I guess thank you guys for supporting me through everything and believing in me, because I wouldn't have stayed here if it wasn't for me sobbing on the phone my freshman year with my mother, telling me that I just needed to ride it out, see how it went.
Thank you for putting up with me. I know I was an absolute nightmare, whether that was calling you guys crying or freaking out, or not being able to call you for days on end because I was studying or locked in the library for hours. You guys made it a lot easier going through nursing school, and I don't think I could have finished without you guys. And thank you for putting up for my neurotic self while I was going through nursing school. But truly, just thank you guys. I wouldn't have made it without you guys either.